garden tour, August 10th, 2026. Garden's doing pretty good. As you can see, garlic's out. I'll be planting a cover crop here sometime in the next couple weeks. Hopefully the sooner the better. You know, you can see here what this was, the Napa cabbage bed right here, where had some green cabbage and still do down at the end. Napa all went to flower on me, so I didn't get any of that, unfortunately. There's still some scallions in here, some kale, some chard. Here is the the echinacea, a little bee enjoying it. Here's the green cabbage. I'm gonna take a bunch more of these. I stuffed some kale in between, but oh yeah, and I didn't have this. I've been pulling bird netting over the last couple weeks, but for a couple weeks there, I didn't have any on it, and you know, you can see this one here. The deer got a hold of it. Yeah, the deer are enjoying themselves now. So as you can see, I put up the beginnings of an electric fence here, these white stakes. Those will be my electric fence posts. I'm not quite ready to put the fencing up itself. That'll happen soon. But there's some more cabbage in here I'm going to take this week. The cabbage moths are also loving it. So I'm going to pull out as much as is ready. I already harvested the chard. I didn't have the onions covered last week. I did have these 4 beds here. A couple beet and carrot plantings and some beans. I had this all covered this past week because the deer had started to eat those carrots over there. They'd also nibbled on these beets here, which I'm going to finish this bed before I leave this evening. But since I didn't have the onions covered, they ate some of the onions. But, you know, it is what it is. This is second planting of, no, I'm sorry, this is the first planting of beans. There's still a few in there. I might look through, try to get them. This is the second planting of beans, which is now producing fairly nicely. Here is what is actually my second planting of beets, but my third planting further down the garden is coming along nicer. I think these are kind of stunted because this is what was at one time the pea bed. There was a peas and pea trellis in the middle, so these were on the back side of it, so they got shaded. So I don't know, maybe they'll come along eventually. But this is also the remnants of my first carrot planting. I'm going to be pulling that here shortly, probably as soon as I'm done with this video. There's the second planting of carrots there. I'll also be digging into that. Shortly after the peas came out from the middle of this bed, I planted what is, I guess, the third green bean planting. So maybe we'll get some of that before snow flies. What else have we got? This is a lettuce bed here that's been taking pretty good care of me. Earlier today, I actually got the 4th cutting on it, which is kind of, I don't know, surprising, unheard of, lucky. Those are some words to describe it. I think maybe because it's got the big tomato trellis there, it might get a little shade. Maybe it doesn't get quite as hot and tend to want to bolt. But I don't see any way there's going to be lettuce coming out of that bed next week. I did, last week, I seeded a row of lettuce here with the 6-row seeder, and then chucked some beets on top of it, so I gotta go pull those back off. I think, oh, and I did it in the far side of the bed down there, and then I planted 2 short rows of radish here. Just trying to keep all the beds as full as possible. This here is, you know, summer squash, green zucchini. There's some in here. Yellow zucchini. Yep, there's some yellow zucchini. I'll have to snag those puppies shortly here. I think I saw a green zucchini in here. Oh yeah, there's a big one right there. they're starting to get a little brown. I don't know, they might be coming to the end of their life. I'm going to try to give them some fertilizer today, some of that compost tea. See if that spruces them up a little bit. We'll see. You know, they don't really last that long anyway, so. We've got some summer squash in there. You see that? Here's the cucumbers. They're all wilted in the midday heat. There's some cukes in there. I'll take those. Those are probably, they might be coming close to the end of their life too. We've definitely got some Carmen peppers. Look at these beasts. Oh yeah, we got some bell peppers over there. I mean, look at these English cucumbers. Little big. That's all right. Bigger is better. Isn't that what they say? So what else do we got? Oh, we got some more Carmen peppers right here. Some more Carmens. Oh, she's loaded. Nice. And what else have we got? Oh, we've got some pickle style cucumbers over here. I think those might be called, I don't know, can't remember, space makers, space savers. This is an old planting of lettuce. I'm going to rip this out today if I have time. Got my first, I've got some shishitos over here that are ready. Who knows where I'm pointing the camera. Yeah, there's some shishito peppers in there. I got my first peppercini yesterday when I was here. Let's see if I can show you one. I think there was another one. Yeah, here's a peppercini right here. Peppercini peppers. Nice. And the shishitos are coming along too. What else have I got? I think I saw some jalapenos in here. Oh, the deer have been helping themselves. That's nice. Oh yeah, there's a jalapeno right there. I have to grab some of those this week. This here is what's left of the bush tomatoes. You know, they kind of got out of hand. It's a slightly, you know, I just grabbed whatever bush tomato seed I could find off the shelf this spring, and I didn't really, this is not a variety I've necessarily grown before. I'm not super happy with the size of the tomatoes. They're a little small, but you know, they're gonna give me a decent flush for a couple weeks, and then they'll go bye-bye. They get a little big, kind of tipped over their cages, but you can see there's some corn I planted in behind it. This here is a bed of, oh, there's a mishmash of a few different things in there. There's some leeks, which you probably can't see, but I can. The deer have snipped the top of the leeks. I guess they like leeks. Here is also what should have been, or is, my next planting of lettuce, but I think, I mean, you can see it's kind of all stirred up. The deer must have been stomping around in there. They've been eating good in the neighborhood around these parts. These squash, look at those carnival squash right there, getting pretty big. That's nice to see. These squash here were all running into this path and starting to take over the my most recent carrot and beet planting. These beets are kind of sad. They're a little wilted in the sun. They'll look better on a nice cool morning. So yesterday I trimmed back, I cut all the vines here just to make sure that that pathway continues to exist and all my stuff here doesn't get crowded out. I mean, actually they were climbing over into this path now. So this is celery and leeks. The deer were, you know, stomping all through here and nibbling. I didn't maintain these bush tomatoes as much as I would normally like to. Kind of got ahead of me when I had Lyme disease. But, you know, it is what it is. There are some bush tomatoes here that made it onto my tall trellis. So you can see there's some growth up here. Maybe I'll get lucky and these will stick around a little bit longer than usual. Here's the rest of my slicer tomatoes. it's tomato season. Yeah, I leaned this, I've got my trellis, it stands pretty much straight up, but then I have these smaller pieces of welded wire panel that I use for my pea trellis, and I have come here and just leaned them against the trellis so the deer can't, get in behind this outer layer and eat all my tomatoes, because they like to do that. I got here this week and there was chewed up tomatoes all over the ground. I'm gonna share a little bit with the wildlife. Not that I really want to, but there's not much you're gonna do about it. So here's the tomato trellis. I mean, look at that. We're in the tunnel. This is the yearly tomato tunnel walk. It's not as well maintained as I'd like. It's really been getting the best of me, but I also crammed way more stuff in here than I usually do. Now this is totally overgrown. But I put corn in the middle of my trellis, thinking that in between these two trellis fences, most animals aren't going to want to come in here and get the corn. So, and I knew my slicer tomatoes weren't going to last, as long as the cherry tomatoes on this side would. So eventually the corn would get tall and it would get enough sun that it wanted. And you can see, there's an ear of corn right there. See what happens with it. And there's some more. I think we're gonna have corn. I've also got, on the cherry tomato side, I planted bush beans. I just figured, why not fill this trellis up, and they're ready. I also, a few weeks ago, or I don't know exactly how long ago, quite a while, whatever, we'll call it a month ago, planted some more bush beans down underneath this side of the trellis, and you can see there's one there. So, maybe we'll get some late continuous pole beans. So, what else have we got? These look like pumpkins down here. I planted some pie pumpkins, sugar pie pumpkins. Oh, there's a spaghetti squash. That'll be yummy. The vines were growing out here on the lawn. I trimmed those back yesterday as well. Yeah, those look like pumpkins. We've got all kinds of different. I planted we got a packet of mixed winter squash. So I'm not exactly sure what all is going to come from it, but we'll see. I took this tarp off here, which was my rye crop that came back this spring. Hoping that the squash would grow out this way, and it is. I just got to box it in on the other sides, that's all. Look at the sunflowers. It's sunflower season. Last week I came here, there wasn't one open, because, we had a little bit of overcast week, but she's in full bloom now. I mean, that's some good stuff right there. There's the thumbnail. There's the zinnias. Yeah, they're starting to fill out, which I like to see. What else have we got? Oh, we've got some, these are asters. Those are going to open and be white. I think those right there are painted daisies. I also see that we've got the, normal volunteer cherry tomato over here in this flower bed. We'll let that run, see where it ends up. So what else have we got here? I think what we need is another sunflower close-up. There we go. So it's that time of year. The garden's full. We're eating well. Oh yeah, I think the elderberries are actually just about ripe. Let's go take a peek at those. before the birds eat them all. Oh yeah, I think I see some ripe elderberries over there. Yep, some of them are ripe. Oh yeah, I probably should take some of these. If I come back next week, they won't be here. So that's about the gist of the garden. You know, early August. It's fresh vegetables from Maine season. Hope you enjoy it.